Your mother predicted Natalie Wood's death.
Yes.
What are you trying to do, my wife?
What? There wouldn't be autopsies?
No.
I bought the Kevorkian Deathmobile.
Can you try to get in the back of the van?
Since I was a young boy, I've been collecting haunted artifacts, drawn to the dark and mysterious energy they carry.
The Manson murders will go down as all time.
Through my career as a paranormal investigator, I've been able to build my collection. Now, I'm building a museum.
The Conjure Chest is one of the deadliest haunted artifacts in existence.
Has affected thousands of people.
I'm providing a place for people to bring their haunted items and hear their stories.
Aid people into coming into the world. Why can't we aid them in exiting?
These are my deadly possessions.
We are about to discuss a very sad, a very mysterious, and a very famous story that is connected to these objects. All these items came from the Splendor Yacht. In 1981, Academy Award nominated Golden Globe winning actress Natalie Wood died mysteriously when she was aboard the Splendor Yacht. She was on the boat with her husband, Robert Wagner, who played number 2 in Austin Powers, actor Christopher Walken, and the boat's captain, Dennis Davern. With so many unanswered questions about her death that night, there's a lot of paranormal activity that is attached to these objects. We are about to welcome Ron Nelson, the current owner of the Splendor Yacht. The same yacht that Natalie Wood mysteriously died on.
My name is Ron Nelson. I'm here in Hawaii, standing in front of my vessel, Splendor. Zach asked if I could bring up some objects from the vessel to his museum so he could examine them and see if there's any paranormal activity involved with them. I'm not sure if I believe in ghosts and spirits, but with the strange things that have happened aboard Splendor, I certainly don't discount the possibility.
Ron has agreed to bring several items from the original Splendor Yacht to my museum, including the steering wheel, radar, and life preservers. Because of the strange experiences Ron has had aboard the yacht and the mystery surrounding Natalie Wood's death, I want to see if these specific objects have any residual energy connected to them.
Ron Nelson, tell me who you are and what you have to do with the Splendor Yacht and these items.
I have owned Splendor for about 30 years. About 5 or 6 years after the death of Natalie Wood.
Very, very famous case, very famous person.
Even to this day, people still are curious about what happened that night and the mystery of her death.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you say that, and in 2011, they reopened the case because of the captain, Dennis Davern, actually stated some things in his book. 9 months later, the chief medical examiner changed her death certificate from drowning to drowning with undetermined factors. And I know that there were some bruises and stuff like that on Natalie Wood, and they were unable to determine if she suffered those before or after she got off the boat. With a lot of unanswered questions with this case and a death attached to it, there's going to be, what I believe, an unrested soul, that of Natalie Wood.
Natalie Wood's body was discovered in the water near the Splendor Yacht and close to the boat's dinghy named the Valiant.
Do you believe in ghosts?
I won't say I believe in ghosts, but I won't say I don't believe in ghosts, you know,
Because of what?
like I say, strange occurrences.
Who sold it to you?
I bought it at an auction from a doctor, and I used to go back and forth from Hawaii to California to fix it up. One day I was working on the boat, and I was finished for the night, and the phone started ringing on the boat. I'm going, who would call me? The phone was down in Natalie's bedroom. I stepped on the bottom stairs, and it felt like someone grabbed my ankles.
What?
And I went through the floor and hit one of the studs on my shin. Then the phone stopped ringing. As soon as I went through the floor to the bottom of the boat.
You're giving me chills now.
I had 40 stitches in my shin, and the scar is in the shape of a V.
Wasn't the dinghy named Valiant?
Yes, it was.
It was, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
So you connected that to that.
Yes, it was.
That's crazy.
The dinghy named Valiant was missing from the Splendor when Natalie Wood's body was found floating face down in the ocean. Could this be a clue in the mysterious death of Natalie Wood?
So you believe that she did that to you?
If I believed in ghosts, I would.
Well, it's starting to sound like you are, Ron.
I've been hurt. I'm not going to argue with her. Maybe she just wants me to remember her, so she put a scar on me.
Maybe that night when she did drown, and you know, we don't know how, maybe her spirit came back to the boat, to the yacht. I believe that Natalie Wood is at unrest. She knows what happened. We don't.
I can't help but think that Natalie lingers here, waiting for her story to be told, perhaps even attached to these very objects. I need to speak to one of the only 3 survivors of that night who can fully confirm the origins of these items. Ship Captain Dennis Davern.
How's it feel to look at that stuff?
Yeah, it's kind of weird looking at it. You know, that steering wheel was there all the time in front of me.
When's the last time you saw this stuff?
Almost 2 years ago, I went to Hawaii, and
Wait, is that when they reopened the case?
that's when they reopened the case, and I went to Hawaii with 2 L.A. homicide detectives.
Dennis, did they reopen the case because of you?
Not because of me. I think it was so they could continue the investigation.
Dennis, you were on board that night.
Yes, I was. The 4 of us, myself,
Christopher Walken, actor Christopher Walken, Robert Wagner, Natalie Wood, and yourself.
we had returned to the boat after dinner and some drinks and stuff like that.
Was everybody pretty drunk at that time?
Yes. Very drunk.
Everybody gets drunk.
Yeah,
one
things
woman.
change.
Do you think that Christopher Walken was hitting on Natalie?
No, I don't think he was really hitting on her, but the way Robert Wagner saw it in his eyes, he was. The anger was just, was just incredible. It was horrible.
Did you hear him say something in that argument?
The one main sentence in his anger to Christopher was, "What are you trying to do, my wife?" And after that, everything that was said after that was... He picked up a bottle of wine and smashed it on the table. The glass shattering all over.
So there was a lot of anger.
Oh, God, it was horrible. When that took place, Christopher decided to go to his room. Natalie went to her room. Robert Wagner followed. The fighting continued in the stateroom. I mean, it was like things being thrown around. Just a horrible, horrible physical fight. There were so many loud noises. And I had 2 beeswax candles that were on the table. I had one of the candles lit. And it shows how long the arguing was before her death.
Do you think if you went in there and tried to calm down the situation, you would have been hurt?
He told me to go away when I knocked on the door. So I went up on the bridge. And then when everything became silent, I thought, I need to go down and check what's going on. He told me, he said, "Natalie's missing." He says, "Could you check the boat? Could you check to see if she's anywhere else on the boat?" I thought, well, maybe just let me check Christopher's stateroom. I opened the door. Christopher was asleep. Whether he was really asleep, I don't know, but he was asleep. And I came back, and I told Robert Wagner, I said, "She's not on this boat. We need to turn on the searchlight. We need to notify people. We need to get this, we need to find her."
So your mother predicted Natalie's death?
Yes.
I've been speaking to Dennis Davern about the night that Natalie Wood disappeared on the very yacht that he was the captain of.
And I told Robert Wagner, I said, "She's not on this boat. We need to turn on the searchlight. We need to notify people. We need to get this, we need to find her."
What time of night was this?
11-something at night. He said, "Well, let's have a drink." I felt like I was just getting made to drink more and more and more. And finally, after a long time, we notified the people ashore. And then the police did a helicopter search at daybreak. And then they discovered her body.
How do you know that Natalie Wood didn't just get angry and try to take the dinghy back to shore?
Well, number one, she would have called me and said, "Dennis, could you move the boat?" And that's my job. So she wouldn't have done that.
You know, when we're drunk, we make bad decisions. Do you ever think Natalie Wood just got so fed up of this stuff?
Absolutely not. She wasn't that drunk, and even if she was, I guarantee she wouldn't even attempt to do anything with the dinghy. Absolutely not. She wouldn't. She was deathly afraid of water, terrified of water.
A woman terrified of the water is found floating in it under mysterious circumstances. This is too bizarre. I feel like I need to know more about who Natalie was and the root of her fear. To do that, I will speak to her sister, Lana Wood, who is here to share intimate details about Natalie.
I want to ask you some questions.
Sure.
But, if there's any that you don't want to answer or anything like that, just let me know.
Okay.
These are some objects from the
Yes, they are.
the yacht.
Wow.
They were brought here from Ron.
Yeah.
Do you believe that your sister, her spirit, is not at rest? And has she ever made contact with you, Lana?
I don't really know. I don't know whether she's at rest or not. I think she's trying to be. She was a very, very concerned, very loving mother and was very worried about her girls. For one time when I was in my home, I saw white, but diaphanous white, moving. And I thought, what on earth is that? Oh, maybe condensation from the air conditioner.
Like a mist.
Yeah, but moving, yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen a heater or air conditioner cause visible mist before.
No.
Did you feel anything in that?
That wasn't it.
Yeah.
It was unnerving to me. And I actually said, I don't know why you're here, but I can't deal with you right now. Please go. Rest in peace. Please leave. I don't want you here. And I never saw it again. Never. I didn't feel that it was threatening or anything frightening. It doesn't really bother me. And I would welcome it now. It scared me before, but it doesn't anymore. Natalie drowning or ending up in the water in itself is completely bizarre because she was terrified of water. Going back to when I was a kid, our mother was rather superstitious. She used to always tell Natalie and I both that in China, a gypsy woman told her that she was going to have 2 daughters, that she saw fame, there was going to be a great deal of fame, but they said there would be a loss through drowning. So my mother, and she had been telling me that story.
Who told your mother this?
Yes.
Your mother told you and Natalie there would be a loss
Yes.
from drowning in your family?
Yes.
So your mother predicted
Yes.
Natalie's death?
Yes.
Can I ask you what you believe happened to your sister that evening?
Alcohol, anger. I don't believe for an instant that anything was done purposely.
I don't think she's at rest yet. Too many things have happened.
What kind of things?
I've had this clock for years, and it never worked.
A clock that she gave you?
Yeah. About a month ago, the clock starts to chime all by itself.
What? After years?
I just couldn't figure out why that clock would just start again.
Okay, there's one other thing, Zach, that you might be interested in. The Hawaiian people are very into the culture.
Very spiritual.
Yes. And I had a kahuna. They call them kahunas in Hawaii. Like a Hawaiian priest. We flew him up to bless Splendor.
Wait, why would you have this kahuna come to the Splendor and have him bless it if you don't believe in ghosts?
Maybe I believe a little bit.
Okay, we're getting somewhere now.
I picked him up at the airport. He's about the size of a football player, sunglasses, and I can see tears coming down his cheek. Through the sunglasses, he was crying.
Really?
He says, there's so much sadness there. He says, I'm having a hard time, he said.
Really?
I'm having a hard time with it.
So he believed that there was also bad spirits on the boat.
Oh, yes.
From the moment, maybe, of her death.
After he blessed it, we went up to the very top of the boat. He says, the bad spirits are gone. It's time for you to make the good spirits welcome here. And when he said that, it was like you walked into an air-conditioned, ice-cold room.
I've experienced
and you could
that.
feel, yeah, you
I
have.
know,
You
I
have.
know. It's a beautiful moment, though.
It is, but
It's
I mean,
surreal.
you were talking about her using other elements. That was that. Yeah, see, I am. That was a real thing.
So that marked you, that moment.
Oh yeah, I'll never forget that. And the feeling about how quickly it changed. It wasn't like a wind came up. It was the atmosphere, hot and humid to crisp, cold air.
How do you feel about these objects? You want to stand up and...
Yes.
This is the
I would.
actual wheel. And...
I don't want to go near the life preserver. She could have been saved. It's mixed feeling, these items, because she did have good memories there as well. But there isn't any happiness now.
Right. Thank you.
These were on the coffee table the last night of Natalie's life.
There were a pair of beeswax candles on the coffee table aboard the Splendor yacht the night Natalie Wood disappeared.
2 beeswax candles that were on the table. I had one of the candles lit, and it shows how long the arguing was before her death.
The ship's captain, Dennis Davern, lit one of the candles when the argument between Robert and Natalie began.
So the amount of time the argument started till her death was that amount of time.
He's held on to them for over 3 decades as a reminder of this tragic event.
I would like to show Lana Wood them. Have you ever showed these objects to her?
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do you think that you would like to share and show her the candles?
It's fine with me if it's okay with her.
I want Dennis to share these candles and their story with Lana in hopes of giving her some emotional closure about her sister, Natalie Wood.
I was wondering if you wanted to see them.
Yes, I would like to, actually.
You would?
Yes.
Okay.
I would.
I just wanted to ask you first, and he wanted me to ask
Absolutely.
you first. Lana, have a seat.
Oh, okay.
Dennis, it's okay, and I'd like for you to show Lana what these objects are.
Okay.
Okay?
Lana,
Yeah.
these, you know how Natalie liked beeswax candles? Well, These were on the coffee table the last night of her life when the wine bottle smashing on that table. These candles were in the candle holders. And when we returned from the boat, from the restaurant that evening, from when the fight began, this candle here was lit. I didn't light this candle, but from this time, that's from the beginning of the fight to the end of Natalie's life.
And when did you take these? The next day, or when did you take the candles?
It took me at least 3 months to even go down to the boat because I just couldn't get myself to go there. But I started taking everything off the boat, and that's when I took those, and they meant something to me.
Oh, absolutely. Natalie loved candles.
Well, I just wanted him to show you.
Thank you.
Just so you could see them, and
I think it's important.
I do too. Thank you, Dennis.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for everything.
You're welcome too.
Yeah, thank you both for coming here. I really appreciate it. Okay.
This story and these interviews have inspired me to dedicate a room of my museum to the memory of Natalie Wood. I will make it my mission to continue reaching out to her spirit so that one day I truly hope she can find peace.
A short time ago, I bought an object. And when I bought this object, it made the news. I bought the Jack Kevorkian Deathmobile. And we had to actually demo a wall to get it into this room. So right now, the van is just sitting in that room over there. And Jack Kevorkian's attorney, Jeffrey Feiger, is about to arrive. Jeffrey Feiger, at first, said that he didn't believe that the van still existed, but I don't think that he's sure that it was demolished. So he took a last-minute flight here to sit down, to talk with me, and we're gonna settle this once and for all. Got lost there, huh?
Yeah, boom.
Many twists and turns in this place. Jeffrey Feiger, you were Jack Kevorkian's attorney for a number of years.
About 10.
10 years.
That's right.
I need to know if this van is possessed. While my crew finishes putting it in the museum for us to investigate later, I want to hear more about its history from someone who experienced it firsthand.
Jeffrey, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in the spirit world?
No, but I'd love to have evidence of that. Everybody would, wouldn't they? Kevorkian thought this was it. You make what you make out of what you have.
Dr. Kevorkian was persecuted by the courts in the 1990s for assisting with at least 130 suicides. Jeffrey Feiger repeatedly cleared his name in that time.
You got him out of a lot.
Yeah, until the end when he decided he wanted to represent himself.
In 1999, he was charged with, I believe, second-degree homicide, sentenced to 20 to 25 years in prison. He only served 8.
Which was absurd. He no more killed that patient than hospice kills patients when they give them unlimited amounts of morphine, which you can do today because of Kevorkian.
So this van that I acquired, I know that when we were speaking with you, trying to get you out here to do an interview, you didn't believe that it was Jack Kevorkian's van. I heard a little radio show that you did.
I don't think it's his microbus. We knew that there was a danger that sometime in the future someone would want to make a profit off of his van. So we took it to this junkyard. We had it crushed into a metal ball. It was always my belief that that van had been destroyed as a result of us paying the guy.
But you never saw it destroyed?
I never did, and neither did Kevorkian.
Okay.
I took the steering wheel and the hubcaps, and I still have those in my office. So that's why I always was very suspicious that somebody said they were selling Kevorkian's van. And your staff subsequently has shown me pretty irrefutable evidence in terms of pictures taken by the Oakland County Sheriff's Department when Janet Atkins died, and which are identical to dents and creases in the van. And I don't think anybody could have contemplated that. It's just impossible to do. In history, that van will be valuable not because of its macabre, but because it's so important in terms of medical advancement of assisted suicide.
Part of medical history.
That van will be considered important. In fact, that van, you'll find that the Smithsonian would want that van.
$130. That's the number that there is to the public.
There were a lot more, well over 200. He was doing them in the van. Janet Atkins wasn't the only one in the van.
He was doing the assisted suicide in the van. There wouldn't be autopsies?
Nope.
I guess he overdosed on pills.
I'm speaking with Jeffrey Feiger, Jack Kevorkian's former attorney, about the van Kevorkian used to perform assisted suicides.
130, that's the number that there is to the public.
There were a lot more, well over 200. He was doing them in the van. Janet Atkins wasn't the only one in the van.
He was doing the assisted suicide in the van.
Yeah, there was one where we were traveling behind. Pretty funny story, actually. The gentleman was quite tall. He couldn't fit in the van, so his feet were out the window.
Oh, my.
And Jack was assisting. We were following, and you could see the guy's feet outside the van while somebody else was driving the van. That story's never been told.
How many different people do you think died in the van?
The only one you know of is Janet Atkins. Janet Atkins was the first.
Janet Atkins was the first patient that Dr. Kevorkian helped euthanize in the van that I now own. Could any of these patients' residual energy still be present in the van?
That's the one that you know of. I know of others, yeah.
Others?
Yeah.
Just say others.
I know of others. After Janet Atkins, the police took the van. I got that van back. He never again left anyone in that van because the police would have taken the van again.
Where would they go? Where would he take these bodies?
There were hotels. There were various places. He was living in a home that I owned on a lake.
So Jack Kevorkian was doing assisted suicides at your house?
Not my house, but a house I own.
Okay.
But, I mean, Kevorkian got smart. Unless Jack told them that he had assisted, the police never knew. These were sick people. This isn't like, you know, they found young, healthy people dead. You're talking about people who had been sick for a very long time. So there wouldn't be autopsies? No.
So when is the last time you saw the van that I now own?
When we took it to the junkyard.
When we took it to the junkyard. I have the title, too, with Jack's signature on it. Here's the title that came with the car.
Correct. Where's his signature on the back?
On the back.
Yeah, that's his signature, too. And his address is my home.
Really?
Where he was living.
So, this checks out.
Does.
Okay.
What would it be like to live in a house once occupied by Kevorkian, with all of the potential residual energy still lingering on? Annie St. John knows the answer to that question and has come to me seeking help.
So, you live in Jack Kevorkian's old house?
This is something I found out through a few of the people that had lived there before me, actually.
I hear that there's some things that have been going on in the house.
There was one event that happened where I was in my bedroom, and my bedroom door was closed, and my knob was just twisting and turning, like something was on the other side of the door. That was the first thing that really, really scared me. I also had a neighbor who had lived upstairs, and he ended up committing suicide. He was right in the apartment above me, so I could hear him at night, and he was a loud guy, so I would hear him often. During that night, I didn't hear anything up there. And I did have a weird thought in my head, like, is he all right? Just because he wasn't being loud. And I do remember hearing kind of like a, sort of like a moaning sound or like gurgly sound. I guess he overdosed on pills and he was taking it with alcohol.
Do you believe that him committing suicide, what do you believe it was caused from?
You know, I don't know. I don't know if there's something that was kind of left over from when Jack was there, maybe something unfinished. I have no idea.
After hearing these first-hand accounts of the activity and death in the very house Kevorkian once called home, I wonder if similar energy also occupies the van.
Do you believe that maybe spirits in the home that were, I don't know, patients of Dr. Jack Kevorkian could have influenced him? Do you believe that that could be a possibility or no?
Yeah, I do. 100%. I do.
Annie, you haven't seen the van yet. Oh my God, she's going inside of it?
Did lingering spirits with unfinished business follow Kevorkian home, tormenting the current residents in their confusion? Did they attach themselves to that house and the van that I now own? The only living person who can confirm the identity of the van is Jeffrey Feiger.
Construction is going on here. There's some old insulation, so I gotta wear this for my asthma. Jeffrey Feiger, here's the van.
Yep. A little worse for wear. Now, where is the hubcaps? I'm looking for mine. There's the one you're missing. And this steering wheel,
they must have put on.
They've put on. And this is what Kevorkian used.
So Jeffrey Feiger, do I own Jack Kevorkian's van?
You own a piece of history.
This is Dr. Kevorkian's van, where at least 3 people that we know of lost their lives. If Annie's experience in Kevorkian's home has shown me anything, it's that there is a very real possibility that spirits with unfinished business may be attached to this van that I now own. With Annie's help, I need to reach out to them.
Okay, right now, we are going to do an experiment. Annie, you haven't seen the van yet.
Nope.
I want you to go in there alone. And I want you to just see if you have the same feeling around the van that you do when you're at Jack Kevorkian's old house. I'm going to give you a digital recorder, and I want you to ask questions to the spirits in there, okay?
All right.
And I want to ask you, we were just sitting here just before the cameras started rolling. What did you and I both hear?
We heard someone saying hello. A female voice.
In a female voice. Hey, roll cameras for a second. There's nothing recording to where we couldn't have captured that.
And she heard it too.
We could not debunk this voice at all. Could it be a spirit from the van? Go and find out.
Okay.
Okay.
In the room.
We also have an EMF detector inside the van so that if any spirit manifestations occur, we'll have scientific proof that there was some type of electromagnetic field manifesting.
Do you think you recognize me? If there are any spirits in the room, give me a sign.
Oh my God, she's going inside of it?
Okay.
We've got no visual on her right now.
If anyone is here, can you give me a sign?
Can you zoom in? What was that? Did you hear that?
Like a moan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Annie, did you just hear...
A moan or something?
I definitely heard a moan.
She heard it. She heard it. So now she just gave confirmation that she heard the same female moan that we did.
Not only do we all hear this unexplained female moan with our own ears, but at the same exact time our EMF detector receives a large spike, scientifically documenting a change in the electromagnetic energy inside the death van.
Can you zoom in? What was that?
How are you feeling right now?
Very scared. I definitely felt something.
Can you try to get in the back of the van?
We're gonna do it. Are you stuck? Do you feel stuck where you are?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It was a slam or something.
Okay, I don't know if you guys could hear that, but I definitely just heard like that.
So it wasn't her.
We just heard a slamming noise.
Yes, I heard that.
Did that come from inside the room with you?
It may have came from like sort of the back of the room. Do you feel stuck where you are?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
It sounded like a door on it shut or something. Can you go look at the back side of the van? Alright, that's fine. This girl came here for just a simple interview. I don't think she had any idea we were going to put her inside the Deathmobile. I decided to send Aaron in there to do a spirit box session. Whoa! That's that same female 3 times.
We're currently investigating Dr. Jack Kevorkian's death van with Annie St. John, who lives in his former home.
So because we heard this female moan audibly, and we heard this bang that apparently came from this room. I decided to send Aaron in there to do a spirit box session so we could try to hear these spirits live in the moment.
Can you tell us whose van this belongs to? Are you happy that this van still exists? And are you attached to it?
Not getting any responses. Let's see if Annie can get a response.
Do you recognize me?
Whoa.
Is this spirit mistaking Annie for someone named Bridget? Or are they saying that their name is Bridget?
Do you recognize me? Do you recognize me?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
The female responds.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? She lives at a place where the doctor used to live. Does that make sense at all?
Whoa. That's that same female 3 times. And it sounds like almost the same tone of the moan.
She lives at a place where the doctor used to live. Does that make sense at all?
Whoa.
I got chills, man.
Yeah, I'm like,
She's definitely in this room. You okay?
yeah.
What?
What's
I
wrong
don't
with her?
know. I'm just,
Spooked?
yeah.
With Annie starting to feel affected, I decide to end the investigation, as she and Aaron have already established intelligent communication, validating to us that there's at least one spirit still attached to Dr. Kevorkian's death van. We received confirmation of the van's origin from the only living person who could validate its identity.
Jeffrey Feiger, do I own Jack Kevorkian's van?
You own a piece of history.
And now we've received an intelligent response from a spirit trying to communicate with Annie St. John,
Whoa.
current resident of Kevorkian's former home. This is just the beginning of a long process with the newest part of my collection. As people come to visit the museum, I'm curious to see how their energy will interact with such an iconic piece of history.